At the special town meeting on Monday, October 25th, town meeting members passed most of the warrant articles, including the $1,475,000 funding request for the design of the Emery Grover renovation. Town meeting also approved a citizens petition that asked the town to declare a climate and ecological emergency. Another citizens petition, which sought modifications to Needham's current accessory dwelling units bylaw, was referred to the planning board. Municipal producer Yu Xiao Win has the report.
While there was consensus among town officials and town meeting members that the current condition of the Emery Grover building is no longer suitable for the school administration, the debate centered around which approach, renovation or relocation, would be more economic. Prior to the meeting, Finance Committee Chair Joshua Levy proposed an amendment that only requested the design costs of $35,000 for the temporary use of Hillside School as swing space. The Finance Committee expected the passage of the amendment could buy more time for the town to evaluate other alternatives. Levy said an updated school master plan study should be ready before the 2022 annual town meeting, which would shed more light on the town's future financial situation as to its ability of funding the 4 major capital projects, including Mitchell Elementary School, the Paula Middle School, the DPW Complex Building, and the Emery Grover Building.
The Finance Committee believes it is prudent to have a complete facility financing plan in place before the 4 identified building projects have money appropriated for them.
I support the amendment because it buys time for us to study the school's administrative needs, which I know it's been studied to death, but not with COVID in mind, not with this changing way of working. And I would love for a renovation to Emery Grover a year from now, 2 years from now, with that in mind, with the actual space that we need, knowing other space that might exist elsewhere in the town through a shift to more hybrid work and smarter work.
School Committee Chair Dr. Connie Barr referred to the 2020 Emery Grover feasibility study to explain why the $21 million renovation plan was the most cost-effective solution.
Rebuilding within the current envelope of EG, which itself is strong in spite of the deterioration inside, is less expensive than the other 3 options, demolishing and rebuilding at either site or renovation at Hillside. Secondly, we do not have long-term leasing options. Funds for leasing come out of the operating budget and will compete in a major way with teaching and learning. The only available space we've been able to identify is the 6th floor of a building on the other side of 128 at a cost of $900,000 a year.
Asked by a town meeting member to provide advice on the amendment, the Permanent Public Building Committee Chair Stuart Chandler rose to respond. The Permanent Public Building Committee, or commonly referred to as the PPBC, is part of the Emery Grover Working Group, which was charged with reviewing alternatives that can provide space for the school administration. Chandler said because the amendment did not offer a permanent solution, the passage of the amendment probably would only halt the renovation of Emery Grover and could lead to considerable cost escalation and inflation.
Plywood's going up, steel's going up. The whole supply chain is a very big question today. So there will be some delay. As been stated, we estimate at least $500,000 in delay costs every 6 months.
Chandler continued to explain the risk of moving the school administration into Hillside School without a long-term solution.
There's a challenge that the building commissioner may not give an occupancy permit for longer than 18 months without a clear path to permanent facility. I'm not going to answer on that behalf, but from the experience of the PVC and the planning and everything else in this town, there is a risk because it's not a permanent facility in this state that the Hillside is in right now. This begs the question of whether Hillside is intended as a temporary facility, a swing space to enable Emery Grover to be renovated, or a long-term occupancy to sort out next steps for permanent facility. If Hillside is intended to be a longer-term facility, then most likely other cost issues will arise as triggering additional code in the building of Hillside, increasing the cost, and a few other things. So there's also the larger issue of the soil conditions at Hillside. That's what triggered the whole rebuild of Hillside, but now we have a nice new school off of Central Avenue.
I think to get interfere with this process after it has been vetted, it has been discussed, it has been compromised by countless town meetings and committees. It is just at this late age is almost sour grapes, because there's been so much agreement, to get to this place. So it should be just a simple thing of common sense of now's the time to go forward.
Town meeting rejected the amendment and approved the $1,475,000 design funds to renovate the Emery Grover building. Town meeting approved Article 11, which requested the town declare a climate and ecological emergency and to prioritize projects that reduce the town's carbon footprint. The Select Board proposed a motion to refer, which did not pass by a majority vote.
If we rise as a town meeting and say, yes, we believe what is happening, we believe we should take this seriously, it says something, it means something. It spreads beyond these walls. We can make a difference.
Article 12 asked to insert an amendment that would lift the occupancy limit for the accessory dwelling units at the 2022 annual town meeting. Town meeting voted to refer the citizens' petition to the Planning Board. Town meeting also approved a sum of $600,000 for the demolition of the Ridge Hill Manor House and garage, and the installation of a solar array on the rooftop of the Jack Coxwell building. For the Needham Channel News, I'm Yu Xiaoyuan.